Hi, Scorpio. How are you? Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Did you already have your birthday? Is it your birthday? I hope it's your birthday. Okay, I guess we shall just jump right in. Lay down, please. Okay, so I see. Let's go with what you know. Let's go with what you know first, right? And remember, there are some things that we'll never understand. And I'm seeing like a cord. Something about a cord. But that's okay. Let's leave judgment and temperance there. Yes, let's leave two angels up in the corner over there. I would like ones in between. I made a triangle for you, and I wanted to. It's how you find yourself when you're somewhere and you're lost, right? You triangulate. 5 of Cups. 10 of Swords, Ace of Cups. Whoa. 3 of Swords on the bottom. Okay, Scorpio. I know you want to go eat that dead deer in the middle of the woods that you found wherever, but you cannot go get it because it's full of maggots and it's not good for you. So you can either sit on that comfy couch, or you can go inside and sit on something comfy, or that's it. I love you. I love you. Zimmy. Being comfortable is hard sometimes, right? Let me open up your other cards, please. Okay, 2 of Pentacles in the middle, and then the other corner is the Ace of Swords. Oh, I see. The 2 angels are actually inside of the triangle. One of them is beneath the 10 of Swords. The Temperance is with 10 of Swords. Okay, good, good, good. And then Judgment is with 5 of Cups. Okay. And what sits in between these 2 angels, Scorpio, this kind of energy is the Ace of Cups, which is love. You want to go in? Just a minute, please. It's the coldest it's been. Maybe she's uncomfortable. You know, maybe that's what a part of what's going on right now. I'm seeing it the way, like in the ways of, I feel like most people have had an animal or understand animals. It's like, okay, animals are mostly silent. right? They can make eye contact, they can make noise to get your attention, but they're silent. So even when you totally are really connected to them and have a strong relationship, the connection is strong. Sometimes, again, it's like, what are you saying? Like, why are you? And this could be right now. Okay, we're just talking about this time frame, right? I feel like this is now for the next 2 months or so. Could be 2 weeks, could be 2 days, it could be 2 seconds sometimes, although I feel like it's probably more like 2 hours. But where maybe you have these waves of feeling, and some of those feelings, this is almost a little bit like it could be kind of like manic energy, where it's just like really dark, and then it's so faithful. Do you know what I mean? So I guess remember that because you have experienced one end to the other, and maybe a little bit more of the darkness, right? Like at times that was the heavier of it, or the more obvious of it. Maybe even now, like that we talked about this last month. Like love is love is as equally powerful as pain, right? But everybody suffers, and a lot of times it's well our own doing in the ways that we remember things or choose to process things. So if you are going through something difficult, I see, please pray. Please tap into your community. If you need to, surrender to that uncomfortability in this time, because I actually see that that kind of surrender is helpful for you to cleanse something. It could be where like maybe the emotions need to sort of come out of you in a way that is in a maybe a harder place, so that you can make space for something that is, because what you're trying to make space for here is the Ace of Swords, which is clearing the way, right? And then we have Temperance, which is understanding how your emotions work, right? Realizing you are the Two of Cups, how you feel and what you do, right? And you have your ego in check in the background, and you have a deep spiritual, place, a faithful place, but it's also where it's grounded. You know what I mean? And then that brings some kind of peace and love. And actually expands your relationships with people, your loving relationships. Which awakens something in you. And I also see helps, it helps others too. Which gives you the ability to go forward with a good balance of shadow and light, right? Okay, so if you were lost in the woods and you triangulated your space and you're like, okay, here I am. Well, I actually see that that's kind of where you're at right now, is maybe in the middle. of something, like smack dab in the middle of it. And so it's like there may be a part of you where like, am I supposed to, you could, for instance, go into the dark, or you could go into the light, but there it's like really really close. Like it's like the concept of the yin yang. It's like there's the black with the white dot, there's the white with the black dot, and the line that connects the two is what I believe the concept is that we are supposed to walk this, right? It's a place of order and chaos at the same time, right? You don't get lost in the weeds, and you have footing. Holy, holy. You know, I heard the same thing when I asked if I was supposed to read for you today, and it was like, definitely so. But last time was like, definitely so, with like a big, huge smile, even though something was like going on. This was like, definitely so, with a little bit more of a serious tone. And that's okay, because I feel like Cancer's reading will be very helpful for you. Remember that they pull your energy. Okay? Queen of Pentacles and the Star with the Nine of Pentacles and Justice. Wow, yeah, let's talk about these cards for a second. That's what happened. All right. Okay, for instance, right now, I don't know the temperature technically, but I can tell you by my hands and the magic dragon, right? Well, that it's cold, and although that's kind of uncomfortable, it does cause one to feel really deeply, right? And I need you to remember that although you have had, and maybe even at this time, could be feeling through some spaces that are hard, not all the time. It's only some of the time here. And I see you have more control over it than you think that you do. But it's okay to surrender into that for a minute. But remember, you just got to remember when to jump out, or when to. And I know it's hard. If you're walking the line of the yin yang and the black and the white are, one is a mountain and one is a huge ditch. It's like a cat. I don't even know what you call that. The shadow, I feel like, is what goes down, and the light is what goes up, right? So you want to make sure that when you're sliding down or surrendering into something, well, I see that you take your time. There's also something about your own imagination. Imagination, what is that in sign language? You put your thumb on your third eye and then you open it up like a flower, right? Which is sort of putting your hand up. It's putting your hands up, you know what I mean, above your head. Sagittarius is reading, Cancer's reading. These will be helpful. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess we'll just see that one. Okay. There. Scorpio. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Chariot leads to the Star. I know sometimes it's easier to not know something, and sometimes it's hard to know too much. Yin yang. And once you learn something, like, how do you unlearn something? It's challenging, right? To try to go back to like a pure place where something has felt like tainted. But this isn't, oh, I need to emphasize that this is not always a physical thing. So I guess that concept needs to be considered. And then what happens is the King of Cups is actually with, there's you with, like, looking at this angel. Like, okay, like, this angel is showing you what, this energy is showing you what to do. And you're paying attention, which is good. And you actually have 2 cups. You have the tools, literally. But I guess you have to stand up about something. Like, I guess you have to feel worthy of something. And maybe that's a part of what's being questioned. It's almost like I heard, do I deserve the light? Which I guess is a kind of humbling. Maybe that could be a part of what this energy is too. Remember we said Libra's a friend of yours? I see you here again. I guess this is also a balance of the light and the shadow, which helps balance karma too, right? Experiences, so that they're understood clearly, and that the heart is not afraid, right? You can communicate from the heart, and the tree is solid, right? Deeply rooted in a healthy way. Just a second. Well, I heard you need something. You need something. What do you need? Sunshine. You need sunshine. Oh my gosh. I just saw it. So again, if there's a yin yang, you're walking the middle path. The shadow is like again, it's like the deepest culvert, and the mountain is this, the light part, but it's still solid. That's the thing. But I saw that there's a door on the light, on the light side, on the mountain of light. There's a door, and the door goes through the mountain. And we talked about this, right? Where it's like hard work pays off, because then you had the tunnel that went through the mountain, and then that went to the sea, and then there was also a tunnel under the sea, but you weren't finished with that because the sea is enormous, right? And you have to come up for air. So again, I want you to remember how hard you have worked. And maybe that's the thing with the sunshine too. If you're digging a hole through the mountain, if you're trying to burrow underneath the sea so that you don't have to deal with all the darkness of the sea, right? Even in the old stories, this is where all the, like in Greek stories, for instance, this is where they put all the sort of I don't know exactly what to call it. Let's call it plainly. It was like the evil things of the world were shunned to the bottom of the ocean, right? That which wanted to be violent or cruel or what have you, right? That had too much power. And so I guess be careful when digging, because sometimes you don't want to, I see you don't want to hurt yourself. Didn't we talk about this last month? Like, don't pick yourself apart too much, right? One thing at a time. And I heard one issue at a time. Okay? Lovers. Yes, one thing at a time. King of Swords. High Priestess. There's something about facing the west. The west. We're talking about west. What is that about? Five of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. Well, I guess this is about maturity. Through experience. There's another angel on the board. Now you have all the technical ethereal beings on the board with you, with the Justice and the Sun and the Star and the Chariot. Ace of Cups. These are all such beautiful cards. Positive, right? But I guess we had to have that conversation in the beginning, or whatever that is, about the light and the shadow and the light. How many cards are atop? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, which goes back to a 1. How you feeling about work? About the tasks you have been given to do. How are you feeling about those? Is that a lot right now? Do you need a little bit of help? Well, I see that if you ask for it, it's right there. You have to pick your head up, though. Yes, and then ask for it, and it so shall be. You do need some time alone with yourself to be able to process whatever, to give yourself the quiet time to replenish your energy. Okay? Yes. So that I heard you can start at kind of like square one, where you're like, all right, you don't have to deal with too many things at once. You're like, okay, one thing at a time. I do also feel like if you wear a lot of black, just try to darker colors. Try to lighten that a little bit. At least some of the time, or realize, be like, okay, today I'm going to wear all black and I'm going to mourn something, right? Like, you, and then you put, because what is the darker colors absorb energy, right? And then I heard wash your clothes, like put it into that and then wash it. And because of that, yes, King of Cups and the Magician, it like puts something in order, right? And there's, well, more spiritual, more clarity in an invisible kind of way. Even if you don't understand it, you at least feel like, okay, yes, well, I heard I did the right thing. because I need remember the shit. What do I see? Okay, so I guess they're part of this is you're shedding your skin, right? Especially for those of you with strong Scorpio, or this is your solar birthday. This is a time of shedding, right? It's a time of you becoming, shedding the old, right? So you can start, so you can start this new space, right? But whenever a snake sheds, they're always they need a little space and time with themselves. Yes, right? And usually they like curl up and kind of not interact with other things. And then after some time, they come out, right? And feel protected again, feel confident. So wherever you are, I see that's where you shall be. Comfortable. Scorpio. I think you're also figuring out who your friends really are. Or like considering, for instance, how you've evolved as a person and what that means to your relationships now. And I do see some consideration and energy going into your future career, whatever that means. Taking some stock there, even of the challenges in that, whatever that may be. And just being aware of whatever they are. Let's see. Well, I guess to close this out, I see again a snake shedding its skin. So maybe the pace of this month is also the pace of the snake. You know, usually they're pretty chill, right? They'll even stop and observe. They'll coil up. And you know what? Because it's cold and snakes are cold-blooded, they don't, they move slower when it's colder. So what are your plans over the winter, over this next season, wherever you are? I see, give where you can, and realize that giving emotionally is better than physically at this time too. Could also be what you need from others, really, but this relates to you the other way. And please remember when the shadow, because I do see that it's going to pop up. Again, the snake's shedding, it's vulnerable. So whenever that comes up and you notice it, try to sit with it for a minute. And if for some reason you can't get yourself out of it, we've talked about triangles so much in your readings, right? The isosceles triangle, that time where there was a triangle that was like this on top and then a triangle on the bottom, right? But it was almost started to become three-dimensional. This is important. I guess you've been finding your way for a long time, right? Working your way, trying to figure out, I don't know, where you are. And I heard who you are. And I guess because you change your boundaries change, right? And maybe that's a big part of what needs to not be forgotten, and to feel comfortable where you are, because even when it feels off, because I know life probably always feels a little intense, right? I would assume Scorpio energy, Mars energy, it's always like, Mars is the soldier. He's always, it's like born with PTSD. It's like, whoa, what's going on? Like, am I safe? Are you going to hurt me? You know what I mean? It can be sort of, confusing. But the thing is you've been triangulating and figuring out your own power. And I'm really glad that we're smiling at the end of this. Thank you for opening up in your heart space. Maybe that's just a part of it, is like admitting to yourself, like, yeah, I've been through a lot. But I heard I really don't want that to hurt so much anymore. And even if something does hurt that has to do with something else, but you don't, again, understand exactly why, I see, please just try to be quiet with that for a minute. And if you become lost, I feel like on either side of you is what? Is a horse, Sagittarius, or is Libra, which is something that's grounded, right? It's like, okay, you can, it gives you a choice. So I guess don't forget to ask your friends for help too when you need it. And I heard if you're not being heard for some reason or respected, just a minute. Then please have good boundaries. Like, hold your ground. And then I saw, like, what do they call that? Like, have you ever watched the movie The Lighthouse? The black and white movie? There's this siren that lives in the lighthouse. The siren in the sea, So just be aware of what's calling you. And remember, when dealing with anything, whatever the situation is, you can always say, enough is enough. Enough. When I just said that, my whole heart just opened. All this energy was like, wow. Like you unclogged the drain. But it wasn't like... It was like this really like, oh my God, thank you. Like a weight had been lifted off. Enough is, say that. Enough is enough. Basta e basta. Enough is enough. Yes. That's part of your own power, your own authority. Yes. What's she looking at? If you do like to drink, I see, please don't. It's not the time for it. Socialization could be okay, but who are you influenced by? Like when you hang out with other people, what is the energy between that? And maybe you want to just again see where you can ask for a little bit of help if for some reason you need it. And also remember, I guess, that admitting your weakness and feeling admitting, well, I guess what's going on with you is very self-respecting. Yeah. Emperor, Empress, and the Six of Wands. This is how you feel and what you do and your karma. Winning. But I will say all of these, this Empress is about waiting. Six of Wands is about waiting. Emperor is also very patient. So although right now could have a little bit of wobble, which I think is more mental than anything, realize that you are shedding your skin, okay? And enough, if for some reason it's too much, whether this is you with another person, you with yourself, whatever, just again, hands up. It's like, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Okay? This works with the shadow too. Okay? Not that you won't have to go back to it if it's a really hard spot. And that's okay. You know, it takes a long time to fix things. World. Is it fool to the world? Yes. To me, it takes many lifetimes. I don't even know if we ever figure it out. I mean, not to say that it's always difficult, but it takes a long time to fix things. Really fix them. Right? In all the different ways. The different levels of one thing. And there are many things that are always being dealt with, right? It's sort of an infinite puzzle. So, as you're going along, Justice, well, there's a triangulation too. Look, 11, 21, 0. Like that is exactly a triangle. So remember, when you're lost, you don't go running, right? You want to be patient, find out where you are, right? If you can't see the sun, it's nighttime, you stay there. You pay attention to the stars before you head out, right? Yes, King of Cups. Wow. I wish I really had the words to articulate what I'm seeing here, but it's really beautiful, Scorpio. Okay. if you know, your second house would be helpful to tap into. Learn from that. Okay. Yeah. Maybe even some I don't know, there is something about the stars here. I love you so much. Happiest birthday if it is your birthday. Thank you. Thank you for accepting the way that these messages come to, and you being open to them. Any of you who are still here. What shows that you are open-minded and willing to look at the hard parts and are wanting to do better in yourself, right? Improve in yourself, and not only for yourself, but to make life, well, all that it can be. And I see, and to have yourself be steady. And thank you. I know it's not always easy work. I know. So remember, you're doing a good job. Please take care of yourself. And I'll talk to you next time. Peace.